What's up, YouTube? For today's video, this is going to be our guide on how to use Cetitan in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon set you don't see here that you're using yourself that works good for you, let me know in the comment section about it. And if you enjoy these guides, if they're helping you out, drop a like on the video and let's get into it. So, Cetitan is a pretty interesting Pokemon with a pretty nice ability and a bunch of great moves. So let's have a look at its stats here. So we've got a mega health stat, which is great, and we got an attack stat of 113, which is really nice. Now it's got a speed stat of 73, which isn't really anything special. However, it does have a nice ability, Slush Rush. So when the snow is active, the Pokemon's speed is going to be doubled, which is going to work really nicely, given that speed stat doubling now. So it's only an ice type Pokemon, which isn't the greatest typing in the world. However, on a snow team, this is going to be really good. So for starters here, I'd recommend using this on a snow team with a Abomasnow or Slowking. So Slowking, I'm just putting this up here for now, is actually quite a nice Pokemon to set up alongside other snow users like Abomasnow. He has this move called Chilly Reception. What this does, it starts a snow and then it swaps out. So if you give it something, for example, Icy Rock, that'll start off the snow, which is really good, and they'll actually be able to have another 7 turns of the Slush Rush there. Now, this Pokemon makes a fine physical attacker, and it actually has Belly Drum too, so Belly Drum is really strong on this, because a +6 in attack on a speedy Pokemon is a force to be reckoned with. Also, it does have priority too, and I'm going to go over that in a sec. So the first set I'm going to provide here is going to be the Belly Drum set. You're going to see this a fair often, and especially on snow teams too, it's quite a menace. So we've got the item as Citrus Berry, obviously, that's what you're going to be running with Belly Drum there, and it's got a lot of bulk too, is in health bulk, so it's going to be able to live those attacks. Now, it has the, obviously, setup move here, Belly Drum. We've got Ice Spinner, obviously for a stab ice move. We've got Earthquake for fire type Pokemon, steel type Pokemon, stuff like that, and we've got Play Rough as well for, fighting type coverage, dragons, things like that. Now, there is an option, I have seen this run as well, is Ice Shard over Ice Spinner. These are the physical ice moves that it does get, which are viable. I mean, Ice Shard is nice. The only thing about it is its base power is kind of weak, so there are Pokemon which can still live a +6 Ice Shard for sure. So I feel like once you've got that much speed up there, you don't really need to worry about priority moves. And if you're going to set it up, if you set it up in the right way, there probably not going to be many Pokemon there. Plus, also with the snow being up on the field too, you also get an additional boost in your defense too. So you'd pretty much have to be worrying about special priority moves. And they're very much few and far. So like Vacuum Wave, stuff like that, so the main things you're going to be worried about, like Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Shadow Sting, those sort of things, Sucker Punch. So with the extra bulk, and if you do have the Citrus Berry to activate, and you've lived that well, and things are going pretty nicely, you probably won't have to worry about that too much. But I like running Ice Spear on there. It's 100% actually 80 base power. It's really solid. There's really no other point to running other moves there except Ice Shard. There is an option of running, let me come up here, to Icicle Crash. So really, I don't see any point in running Icicle Crash. It's only 5 more base power, more powerful. You've already got an absurd amount of attack there after a Belly Drum, and why even risk the accuracy for 5 more base power? I mean, sure, it's a nice flinch, but you're going to be one-shotting things anyway, so there's no reason to ever run Icicle Crash over Ice Spinner. Unless you're going for a specific, like, flinching set or a meme or something like that, it's going to be hitting really hard for sure, but having that, risk of missing is not worth it in my opinion. So yeah, run which one you kind of like there. If you run Ice Shard, bear in mind you probably won't have to go so much in speed. I mean, you still can if you want to use your other moves there, but I don't know. I just like Ice Spinner because it's very powerful still, and you don't have to rely on priority to go first, and you haven't got like a weak stab move there. Even with Terra Ice, it still is weak, so I'm not saying it's not going to take up most things, but there are like defensive walls that are going to be able to get around and stuff like that. So it's good to have that extra bit of power there. All right, so that's basically the first set here with the belly drum. I've given this one max attack and max speed. Pretty obvious there for speed, and we're giving it plus the last little 4 in health and Adam and Nature. You don't need to run Jolly or anything like that to waste because you're getting so much speed there. So you're going to be doubling your speed. And if you've got like a Pokemon with Icy Rock, for example, Abomasnow or Slowking, it's going to be lasting for, depending on what you do, you're going to have 7 turns then after they use it, and then say you use Belly Drum, you live, everything's going well, and then you've got 6 turns of just absolutely like dominating, the opponent there with really, really powerful moves. So most times in that case, you're going to get a sweep, or you're going to take a lot of Pokemon are going to go down in that time. So that's what you're aiming for, right? So there you go, that's the first set. Next one I want to have a look at here is going to be Thick Fat. So we're looking at a little bit of a different spin on this set. It's not going to be hitting quite as hard as the Belly Drum, or nowhere near as hard as it, but it still has some presence here. So Thick Fat is actually quite a nice ability on a Ice-type Pokemon, apart from the the Fire-type. It is weak to Fire, so the Fire and Ice-type, forget about the Ice-type, so that's not going to matter. They're going to do half damage to that, so that's very, very good. You've got Assault Vest too, so that's going to make it even more bulky on the special side, which is nice. And you've got Avalanche, which is extremely powerful there. You've got 120 base power if you're going to go second, which is a pretty good bet if you do have 0 IVs in speed and Brave Nature. And we've got Earthquake for Steel types, Fire types. You've got Ice Shard for priority too, which is nice, finishing stuff off there. And then we've got Heavy Slam on top of it as well, because it is a pretty heavy Pokemon. So it's going to do some pretty nice damage and extra coverage and stuff like that. So that's another set I'd recommend, but obviously it's in my opinion, competitively wise. The Belly Drum set is going to be probably the most useful one, but this does have its uses here and there. It's quite bulky, and Avalanche actually Avalanche does a lot more damage than Ice Spinner does, but he has to obviously go second there. Now, this can also be run in Trick Room too, so you could potentially run this under the Trick Room, right? But I'd probably what I'd do, right, is I'd get rid of Avalanche. And the move, I'd probably give it under Trick Room. Now, I did say that in most cases that Ice Spinner is going to be better than Ice Wheel Crash, but I don't know, on the Trick Room run, I'd give it a go, because you don't have to give up, firstly, you don't have to give up half your health for Belly Drum, so there's no risk there of you missing one move and you're going to faint. So you could give it that, and you could try, you got a 30% chance of flinch as well, so you could actually run Ice Wheel Crash here, or if you just want 100% accuracy, you've got Ice Spinner there. So that's probably what I'd put there, so that's up to you. But that's probably the only time I'd go for Ice Wheel Crash, if you were definitely going to go first and you had, full health, not like half your health and your Scissor Spread's gone and that sort of thing. That's probably, that's be my opinion there. As for Heavy Slam, I guess that's really only good against opposing Ice-type Pokemon, really, and Fairy types, but another good coverage move to give it is also Liquidation too, so that's not a bad move there. You can hit Fire types against that, like Rock types, that's another one, but you can hit the same things with Earthquake too, so that's the reason why I gave a Heavy Slam, to sort of open up a couple more options there with it, and there's some, really light Fairy type Pokemon out there that will get absolutely wrecked by that. Now, with its extra bulk and Assault Vest, it is going to be living hits, so that's just another thing. If you wanted to give it Trick Room, I'd probably go, you could go, I was just thinking here too, you could do Sheer Force. That's another option here. So we've got Icicle Crash, right? So Icicle Crash is a Sheer Force move. We can use that. So boom. There's not much really for ground. You've got Bulldoze, but that's not going to be as powerful, so I'd probably just leave it at Earthquake there. You're probably not going to use Sheer Force anyway, but I always like to sort of look at these things. What else we got there? We got Heavy Slam. That doesn't really do much. But yeah, we got Earthquake, put it back on there, get rid of the Heavy Slam, and we can maybe Play Rough on there, we might as well go for the Play Rough, so there you go. So just a little bit of an adjustment there, and something different if you do want to try that for Cetitan. All right, next one we got here is going to be a doubles. What do we got here? Doubles. So this one is a Belly Drum set, and this is actually a bulky set here too, which is going to be interesting. So we've run Slush Rush on this still, but it's bulky. So we're going to have the team setting up the snow, of course, whether it be Slowking, Abomasnow, etc., right? All these snow Pokemon. And this one is going to be based around using Belly Drum and then spamming Ice Shard. And this can definitely work for sure. Once again, it can work with other one. This time I've run it bulky, like I've run it like insanely bulky, so it's going to be able to live those attacks like really, really nicely. And it's got Slush Rush, so even with no speed investment, right, it's still going to be very, very fast. You know, it's going to be in those very sort of high speed stat, you know, that most get to. And, you know, if you have to use anything other than Ice Shard, you've got some coverage here, and you're still going to be pretty fast. So there you go. That's another variant of the Slush Rush set that you could try out for doubles. You could run this one on doubles too. I kind of like the bulky one for doubles too, though. I sort of like the extra bulk that it gives, and Ice Shard's, you know, kind of nice there. So I'd go for that one for doubles, but the other one would work to the Ice Spinner set. Sort of up to what you want for your team. Like, say if you got a little bit of a frail team, maybe the bulky one is going to be better there. Anyway, so that's what this setup is. Adamant, we've got 8 in defense, and we've got 248 in health. That gives us the optimal EVs there, and we've got Citrus Berry as the item, so it's kind of similar setup there. So there you go, a bulky Ice Shard set. So now we're going to get into a little bit more gimmicky, definitely. I mean, this thick fat one is kind of gimmicky too, but so I'd say this one and this one are probably your best bets here for like super full-on competitive, and this one is starting to get a bit memey as well as this one. So we're going to choice band set. I thought, well, not. We'll give this a go at choice bands. So we got Sheer Force this time. So I've got Icicle Crash. Oh, I went over it in this one anyway. I sort of was dabbling in a bit on the other set, but this is my Sheer Force set. So we've got Icicle Crash, obviously, with Choice Band Sheer Force. That actually does a really, really nice amount of damage there too. Like, it really does. Now, you could, problem is you can't have Sheer Force and Slush Rush, so that'd be awesome if you could, but that's not going to happen. So I've run this one really bulky because its speed is, if you, let's say you give it like max speed, well, that's trash, isn't it? So it's not going to be outspeeding anything. There's really no point to doing that, so you're wasting your EVs there. I'd give it max health. You can live a couple of attacks there, and you could still use it in the snow too, and with that snow, that'll give it the extra bulk, and then it'll still be tanky because of the health. So that's where I would use this set, and it's going to be doing a lot of damage. So Icicle Crash, we've got Liquidation. Once again, we got some little bit of decent coverage here. So we've got Liquidation, Play Rough, and Bulldoze. I know Bulldoze is a bit of a meme there, but it's not too bad after a Sheer Force there. Sheer Force is going to boost them by 1.3 times, so it's decent, I guess, so it's going to do a decent amount. Is it as powerful as Earthquake? No, so you could probably put Earthquake on there instead, but I was just showing off the best Sheer Force moves that it could have. So there you go. Kind of similar to the other set that I was talking about. And Adamant Nature, max health. So last bit in defense there. So that's another option there if you want to run a choice set there. The thing about this set is its initial power. Like right off the bat there, you don't have to go for belly drum. It's bam, straight away. You're hitting hard. So interesting sort of take on it. All right, let's have a look at a special set here. I like to always dabble in all the different sorts of sets here. So Titan makes a very bad special attacker, but I want to have a look at it anyway. So we've got Modest Nature. Obviously, it really does need that. And we're going to be running Slush Rush, of course, as the ability. And we've got Icy Rock as the item. Now, matter of fact, you could almost run max health on this if you want to have more bulk. It's sort of up to you there, but nothing will be outspending it. So with Icy Rock, we're going to have the Snowscape. We've got the Snowscape going on this one. Now, you could potentially set up Snowscape yourself as a Titan. I just think it's a waste of time because you're using up a move slot there, and then you have to use Snowscape, then Belly Drum. It's kind of like, that takes too long, so you need another Pokemon to set it up. So in this case, you could get another Snow Pokemon to set it up too, if you've really got your heart set on going for a special one. But the thing about this one, you're not using Belly Drum, you're just setting Snowscape up. I'm nearly losing my voice here today, and then go for Blizzard. So we got Icy Rock, as I explained, Slush Rush, double our speed. We got Blizzard, so we got 110 base power, and we're obviously in the snow, you can't miss. That's great. That's a very, very spammable move there for another 7 turns. We got Water Pulse for fire Pokemon, rock type Pokemon, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And we got Terra Fire as a little bit of a interesting sort of surprise set. Now, for all of the other ones here, I just want to touch on Terra too, because I didn't really do that. You probably noticed that I ran Terra Ice on most of these ones, except the thick fat one. I went for like Terra Ground on that one, just the same surprise as well against fire type Pokemon and Steel and stuff like that. But most of the time I was sort of like really, really trying to power up that Ice Shard or the Ice Spinner, those sort of things there. So you can sort of pick what you want. For the Choice Band one, I did Water. That's not a bad one either. I'd recommend for this, I go Ice, water, or ground, or fire. They're all pretty good terrors on there. Some of the latter ones are better for like just surprising your opponent. You know, they bring in an obvious Pokemon that's super effective. You can go for that and get the hit, your hit on them that way. So, yep. The other one, yeah, Terra Fire, and yeah, the opponent will absolutely be terrified of 45 special attack. So there you go, bit of a fun set there for Cetitan. Let's have a look at some move options here. I've already sort of suggested, you know, some. It's pretty obvious there. So, Bomber Snow, Slow King, Chilly Reception. I mean, Chilly Reception is probably the standard there in doubles and even singles too. And, you know, people like to do this little shenanigans with Chilly Reception, Icy Rock, and Regenerate It. It's good. It's smart because you can get that off and then get your health back. And then, you know, oh, the snow's gone. I'll just reset it up with Slow King again. Slow King's got some excellent bulk there to set everything up there. So, you could build that. I don't really want to go into Slow King build here because this isn't about Slow King, but you could go like defensive, special defensive, you know, whatever you're going for there. That's quite a good build there. Max health, max defense, all-round bulk there. You know, just give it a couple of coverage moves and away you go there. Pretty easy stuff. But yes, let's have a look at Cetitan's other moves there and some final thoughts on this Pokemon. Nearly clicked Cetitan. Oh, as for counters there, basically priority moves. That's probably your sort of go-to there. Steel-type Pokemon, they'd be good against this one, like Scizor and stuff like that. Ice Shard is not going to take Scizor out. Scizzor's got too good a bulk, so the opponent is then going to have to rely on going for probably Earthquake as its best coverage move there, unless there's a secret little terror there. And, you know, it can hit very, very hard with Bullet Punch. If Cetitan's already on a low amount of health from a Belly Drum and stuff like that, it is going to be wear down. So the priority moves will, you know, definitely wear it down there. It does get its own priority though, so yeah, it doesn't have too many counters there. Any prankster Will-O-Wisp Pokemon that'll counter it. So just the normal stuff there to outspeed or try and shut down a speedy attacker with +6 there. The thing is, its main stab is ice, so that's always going to be a problem there. All right, let's go over its physical moves. We've sort of gone over all the basic ones here. There's nothing truly else for me to add here. You could try, I was thinking about going for like a Terra Normal one, like Terra Normal Body Slam. That could be interesting. So only having that one weakness, and then you can also have bullets. We got like, you know, Bullet Punch Pokemon, not Bullet Seed. Won't be able to go for super effective. So you got like Body Slam, and you've got your Ice Fang, and then you've got, you know, Earthquake and Belly Drum. So that's another set your variant you could run on there. Apart from that, there's nothing really else to go for there. I wouldn't be choosing. There's no reason to run Ice Punch either. It's just simply outclassed by the other moves. Superpower is an option there for a fighting type move, but the problem is like you're using up like all your boost you get in an attack. So I'd be very wary using that. Maybe use it on like a choice band set or something like that, and then you're gonna have to swap it out. So that's probably the only time I'd even use it. Body press isn't all that bad, but its defense isn't really exactly anything you'd write home about. So yep, that's my final thoughts on the physical. Let's have a look at the special. We went over this already. I did a special set, and I've basically covered all the moves and stuff for it. You might be able to try something cool with like Echoed Voice and Terra Normal. Or Hyper Voice or Throat Spray is another way of boosting its special attack. And then, you know, going like maybe like Hyper Voice, Snowscape, Blizzard. That could work with Throat Spray. That could definitely do something. You know, you'd actually have a decent special attack stat then. So that's something you could go for there if you really got your mind on going for a special one. And final thing is, we got the status move. Now, Yawn is something I didn't actually go over. Now, Yawn is a really a momentous move in my opinion. So I have seen a couple of builds do this, but they're sort of few and far between. So I've seen a Yawn Belly Drum build like this. It's like, it's kind of meme though. Like you got like Ice Shard. So there's only a couple of things, you know, they've sort of done like a build like this. I watched them, you know, you got Slush Rush there. And mind you, this was, this wasn't even in the snow, I don't think. Actually, no, it was in the snow, but it sort of had this set going here, right? So it's like Adamant and you know, this sort of build. So they went for Yawn, and then, you know, the opponent was swapped, then you get a free Belly Drum there and things like that. And then, you know, went sort of on a roll there. So Yawn is interesting. It is a little bit gimmick, though, because the opponent may call your bluff and just feint you, and then you've sort of, I mean, they've let themselves wide open with being asleep, but they still get rid of your sweeper. So you might be able to work something there with Yawn. I think Yawn's a really good move when used correctly, especially with like a boosting move. It can create an opening, so that's something else you might want to think about there. You do drop off Play Rough, though. That's the only thing on your other coverage move you might need, but something to think about there for sure. And I actually think that's about it for Cetitan. We've sort of went over everything else. Yeah, it does get a helping hand and stuff like that, but it's not really cut out to be like a super support Pokemon because of its typing, but you might be able to do something. It could even be a bulky Snowscape set to set it up and then sweep. I have seen that, and it does work. I get some other cool things like Amnesia. So you might be able to build like a really tanky one with Snowscape, like Rest Sleep Talker. I could see that being a good Rest Sleep Talker, so that's something you could try. It does get, Amnesia and Snowscape would make it like insanely bulky, so it could be fun. I did get Entrainment too, so the target's ability can change the users. If you want to give it another ability, I guess, like that. I don't know, you give like Flash Fire or something. I don't know. Thermal Baxcalibur's ability. I don't know, some fun thing like that, right? But they're more gimmicks. Anyway, people, that's about it for Cetitan. Now, the only guides I've got left for Generation 9 Pokemon are now the Dunsparce. I might do Dunsparce in that video, we'll see, or I might do its own guide. They're kind of similar though, so I might do both, we'll see. And the other one is Taurus Paldean. So I'll cover all the Taurus Paldean, like the forms of them in like tomorrow and the next day. And that'll be it. That's all of the Gen 9 Pokemon done. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching this little mini series here. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you found this video helpful and insightful. And I'll catch you tomorrow for another theme team and 2 more guides. That's it. Peace out, people.